Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Senior Vice President of Global Communications and Corporate Affairs at Las Vegas Sands, Ron Reese.
Thank you. That was quite the introduction this early in the morning. Thank you. Good morning. On behalf of Las Vegas Sands and the Nevada Partnership for Homeless Youth, I'd like to welcome you to Intersections, the first annual Southern Nevada Youth Homelessness Summit. While we're happy to be able to provide this venue for a discussion on a very important topic, it wouldn't be possible without the commitment of everyone in this room. I want to thank each and every one of you for being here today. Today you'll hear many alarming statistics about the issue of youth homelessness in our community, so I'll save those for the experts. But the bottom line is, we have a significant problem in our community, and its impact in our young people it is exceptionally concerning because it changes the entire trajectory of these young lives. I stand in front of you today as a father of two teenage boys. While many of you, I'm sure, share the joy of raising teenagers in this day and age, there's nothing I wouldn't do for my two sons, and I cannot imagine the thought of either of them ever believing they didn't have a home. Maybe that's one of the problems we face. Maybe for too many of us, it's out of sight, out of mind. Maybe we really can't believe that every young person in our community doesn't have a safe and secure place to call home. Hopefully today, and in the weeks and the months to come, we'll educate our friends, neighbors, and community leaders on the seriousness of this issue and work collaboratively toward a solution. In fact, when we started the planning for this event, we spent a lot of time discussing how the summit would put us on a path to finding a solution. Though we all agreed that before we could truly begin those efforts, we need to raise awareness of the issue and inspire people to join us on this path. Thankfully, two of our community's major institutions, without hesitation, committed to join us in this fight. I'd like to convey my deepest thank you to the UNLV Greenspun College of Urban Affairs, Dean Rob Ulmer, and the entire team for their efforts and the work that certainly lays ahead of them, and to the Las Vegas Review-Journal for both being sponsors of today's summit. Thank you very much. Before I turn this over to people much smarter than me, let me briefly tell you why this issue is important to Las Vegas Sands. Several years ago, as we revitalized our corporate giving program, Sands Cares, to create greater impact in the community, we heard from our team members and civic leaders that the homelessness problem was an issue that needed to be addressed. Even though it's an issue that doesn't receive much attention on a broad scale, it was a call for action we paid attention to. And we decided to step forward and hopefully be the business leader that helps change the game. As we examine the homelessness issue in our community in more depth, we made a long-term commitment to help drive that change. Not just through funding, but through programming and having a seat at the table for building solutions. Through Sands Cares, we formalized a multi-year, multifaceted engagement to positively impact the homelessness problem. Our strategy has three key pillars: provide immediate relief for the homeless population, help find long-term solutions for the homelessness problem, and increase awareness and advocate for greater support among the broader community. Those three pillars are why we are hosting this summit with the Nevada Partnership for Homeless Youth today. We began the journey to address the homelessness issue in our community in 2015. Since that time, we've committed nearly $2.5 million to homelessness causes, and approximately 1/3 of that funding has gone to youth homelessness. Next year, in addition to hosting the second annual Youth Homelessness Summit, Las Vegas Sands will spend another $1 million in support of homelessness organizations and their work. Thank you. Early in our mission to help impact the homelessness problem, we met Arash Ghaffori and got involved with the Nevada Partnership for Homeless Youth. We learned about the challenges these kids face. We've witnessed the challenges NPHY has with systems, infrastructure, and overall community resources to help homeless youth. We started our partnership with NPHY by funding grants and providing other in-kind and volunteer support to help with the drop-in center, transitional living facilities, and overall awareness. But the conversation we continued to have was about the bigger opportunity and need to get this community more organized around the fight against youth homelessness. Which brings us here today. This summit kicks off a journey as a united community tackling one of our most pressing problems. At Las Vegas Sands, we've accepted this challenge and we are wholeheartedly committed to building solutions. We have an amazing leadership from the service provider community led by Nevada Partnership for Homeless Youth. I'd also like to recognize the participation in the summit by some of our community civic leaders and their staff. Several are here today. Secretary of State Barbara Sagofsky, Assemblywoman Shannon Bilbray Axelrod, Assemblyman and Chief Deputy Majority Whip Tyrone Thompson, Las Vegas City Councilwoman Michelle Fiore from Ward 6, Katie Miller from the United States Interagency Council on Homelessness, Emily Hughes, Administration for Children and Families of the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Stephen Weiner, Administration for Children and Families of the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and Mimi Woodruff of the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. Thank each and every one of you for being here today. To be blunt, this event would not have come together without the vision and commitment of the great people at Nevada Partnership for Homeless Youth, who work tirelessly, not only to get our community's young people off the streets, but to start them on a pathway to turning their lives around and living to their fullest potential. So let me now introduce my partner in this endeavor, Arash Ghafouri, Executive Director of NPHY. Since becoming NPHY's, I wish he'd change his acronym, I stumble over it every time. It's easier for me just to say the whole darn name. Arash has led an agency-wide overhaul and rejuvenation, growing NPHY into a more effective, efficient, sustainable direct service provider, while turning NPHY into a community leader on issues affecting Southern Nevada's most vulnerable population. With a passion for policy and systems-level thinking, Arash is active in the national and local movements to end youth homelessness, serving in leadership roles on the Southern Nevada Homelessness Continuum of Care Board, the National Safe Place Advisory Board, and a variety of local and national committees and working groups. Over the past 5 years, Arash has also spoken at national, state, and local conferences, forums, and panels on best practices in serving youth homelessness, incorporating sound business practices into nonprofit management. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to introduce my friend, Arash Ghafouri.